I honestly don't know if I'm going to put any images on this particular video, so if you want to take it as a podcast, go right ahead. I just, there are a lot of videos that I want to make about different topics, but today I just didn't feel like doing anything except for sitting in front of my computer screen and talk. And because I did not feel like putting makeup on and dressing up, I decided it was better if I just said what I needed to say and hopefully maybe add one or two images. But if not, the best I can do for you is the actual thumbnail that you're watching right there. So, what's going on? Well, the thing about it is, and you're going to hear me clear my throat a lot of times, so I apologize. I don't know what's happening, but for the last 4 hours, I've been a mess. I'm thinking there's some sort of pollen or something going on, and that's why I'm like that, because as soon as I opened the door, it was over. And I have been in the house more or less for most of the last 24 hours, so that might have something to do with it. So here's the thing. I have another channel. It's called Aviddiva. And I know what's going to happen to that channel, but I need to tell you where my brain is going and why it's going in that direction. And I don't know if this is going to take 5 minutes or 20, so here we go. My name is Roxana. This channel right here is Metamorphosis Rocks, but I'm talking about my other channel, which is called Aviddiva. And Aviddiva is more about, I don't know if calling it a lifestyle channel is the right way to go, because I have no lifestyle right now. All I do is read magazines and books and watch movies online and try to stay awake for most of the day. I've been pretty sick lately. So what I decided to do is, here's the thing. For those of you who don't know, I live with a condition that's called IBS, and that condition messes with my stomach, but it also messes with the rest of my body, because if you cannot digest your food properly, you're not going to get all the nutrients from it. And even if you supplement, you're still lacking. I have thought about this long and hard, and as much help as some doctors have been, they really, for the most part, they have been a waste of time and money. So I decided that I'm going to turn into my own guinea pig, and I'm going to start playing with foods, supplements, and vitamins to get to the point where I have the best combination for me to live my best life possible at this particular point in time. And so I find myself the other day watching the trailer for the movie The Whale with Brendan Fraser, and what you have to understand is that Brendan and I are about the same age. And when I saw The Whale, I didn't realize he was wearing a fat suit. I just thought that's what he had become. And then, of course, I realized that, yeah, he's gained some weight compared to what he used to look like. He doesn't look anything like he used to look like, but I can still see him. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Like, if you see yourself in a picture from when you're 15 and then you look at yourself in the mirror now, you kind of sort of see yourself, if that makes sense to you. It happens to me a lot with like friends from high school and whatnot. Even though we've all aged, when I look at their faces, I always see the kids that I went to school with. I don't know if that's just love or if that's just some sort of frame of reference that humans have. Really don't care. The bottom line is that I see Brendan when I look at Brendan, okay? But I'm not going to escape the fact that he went through something that was horrendous. And at first, when I was going to make this video, I was going to say, and I had the same reaction, but not the same situation. And then I started thinking, here's the thing. When people talk about assault, okay? I don't know about you, but I always go to the worst possible situation, which I've lived through a couple times. Well, I shouldn't say couple because it was more than two, but you know what I'm trying to say. The problem is that when they happen to you, you don't always realize that you are going through something bad. What ends up happening is you live through whatever the experience is. You know you don't feel right about it. But based on how you're raised and where you are in your life and whatnot, when time, you rationalize it. You start telling yourself that that wasn't as bad as you thought it was, you're just making a big stench out of nothing. When the reality is that, yeah, it wasn't the greatest experience because it wasn't supposed to happen. And whoever did whatever they did to you is actually basically criminal. As the years go by, you either take off weight or put on weight. I did both. For the younger situations, one I was 15, the other one I was 18, I stopped eating basically. And then for the other one that, I mean, there were several different events, but the three big ones were when I was 15, when I was 18, and when I was 25. For that last one, I went completely the opposite direction, and I don't think I've ever stopped. So that's how you cope with it sometimes, you know? And I see my story and his story, if that makes sense. Not as big as the whale, but I see him now, and I see. And let's keep in mind that men tend to bulk up with age anyway. Some of them stay skinny, but people like Brendan, who are what we used to call big boned, are going to get a little bigger than the average person. They're just not, he's not like Han Solo. Let's put it that way. I mean, you could look at Harrison Ford when he was young and you knew he was never going to be a big guy. But Brendan was a normal looking guy, so I knew he was going to get a little bigger. Not necessarily as big as he is right now, but he was going to get bigger. And I see him, and I can absolutely identify with everything because you basically eat yourself to death, even though you don't feel like you're eating that much. But you're not taking care of yourself either. And if, I don't know if his health or anything like that, but if he has any problems like I do, oh my God, it gets so much worse. But I decided, there comes a point where you have to accept that whatever happened to you, and you can either grow from it or die from it. And I decided I want to grow from it. And that doesn't mean I haven't done a lot of things with my life, and I haven't. You never put it behind you. Whoever tells you that you can put tragedies like that behind you is lying to you, or they've never been through something like that. And as much as they're trying to make you feel better, what they do is they end up making you feel worse. But I decided I have to do something. And I'm thinking that maybe if I make a video where I say what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually do it. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I'm putting it out there in the public. This is not going to be just for my patrons. This is going to be for everybody. So I'm hoping that it motivates me to do something. I have been talking to my family, and keep in mind that I go through everything I do. I talk to my husband and my daughter because they're my partners in life and in business. So I have to go and tell them before I plan anything. And the bottom line here is, in case you don't know, I am there was a loss of employment here that put us about $5,000 behind. We've had people that have helped us. We had certain savings that helped us for a minute, but after all of that was gone, we're still $5,000 behind, and that's a lot of money. So hopefully in the near future my husband starts working full time and we can kind of recover. But if you know how this works, no matter how much you recover, when you're that far behind, you stay behind. Unless you do something crazy like, I don't know, sell everything you own or whatever. So in that in that part, I am doing 4 things. I am selling some of the stuff I own. I am looking for grants for women, Latino women, entrepreneurs and that sort of thing, so that I can actually have my own business off the ground. Because as much as I apply for jobs, and I might apply for 2-3 jobs a day, or some days I have 7 and some days I have 3, because it depends on what's out there available. I've been applying it all year and I have not gotten one, not even an interview. So I'm thinking that the only option I have is to continue to do videos and also create my own business so that I have some sort of income. And so that's what the grants are for, so that we can start the business properly with all the paperwork and whatnot. And then the other thing I'm doing, and you guys know this because you've seen me do it before, is I have my links to PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App on Twitter, so that if anybody, even if it's $1, I mean, seriously, and if they can't give me anything but they can share the link, that's great too. I don't care. Bottom line is that's one way I'm going to do it. So I have, let me review. I have the business, the grants, the selling of stuff, and the links if anybody wants to become a patron or donate or whatever, they're all there. Then in my personal health wise, it's also a three-prong approach. I am going to basically go on a journey where I'm going to play with not only exercise but also nutrition, supplementation, and all these other things. And I have an alternative method doctor that she's helping me with some of this. So I'm not going it alone. I'm just I shouldn't call it traditional medicine, because traditional medicine is the original medicine. Mainstream medicine, which would be the one where you go to a school and you become a doctor and then you go and take care of people, has not done anything for me other than give me more headaches. I regret having the gallbladder surgery because I think there could have been a way that we could have solved that another way, and having the gallbladder surgery makes the IBS even worse. So those are the steps that I'm taking right now. Most important ones are going back to full-time exercising. I have one less thing to worry about because I did quit smoking last year and I have not touched a cigarette since. So that's a good thing. I haven't dropped the soda. Every time I drop the soda, I'm okay for like 2 or 3 weeks and then I start drinking soda again. But as I start playing with my nutrition, that might be something that I will replace without even noticing that it's not there anymore. And those are some of the changes that I'm going to do. And so when I wrote Aviddiva, what's happening is because anything that's important that happens with that, I'm going to actually document it and include it on that channel. So if that's something that you're interested in, I would suggest you go over to the channel and subscribe. Other than that, I tried to make this video as short as possible. I wasn't that great on it because I kept coughing, so I kept stopping the video. And then when I came back, I kind of sort of knew where I was, but the train of thought went sideways. So thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for being here through the thick and thin of it. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.